Well, isn't this awkward? I thought Noah taking an Advil would be so much faster than it is. Oh dear. Well, welcome to the Daily Motion Show on what day I forgot was a holiday. In fact, I got some notification on my phone this morning after I changed my alarm times. We're live, by the way. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
I thought it was gonna be faster. My bad.
Absolutely started without me over here.
Anyway, I got a notification this morning that was like, "Hey, it's move your alarms. It's Washington's birthday." And I was like, "Okay, first of all, very aggressive. If I want to change my alarms, I'll change my alarms. I don't give a shit if it's Washington's birthday."
Who's Washington?
Why should I even care?
What is that? Wait, hold on. Idea. I'm going to start a laundromat. I'm going to name it Washington, and there's going to be a hyphen between washing and ton.
Nice. That sounds good. Like you can wash a ton there.
Yeah.
It works.
Washington.
Wow.
It's great. Second of all, it's not Washington's birthday. It was actually moved from Washington's birthday a while ago by federal decree.
Wow.
Because they wanted more holidays on Mondays so that Americans can have more 4-day weekends, or I guess 3-day weekends.
So what I'm hearing is Google is a liar.
I mean, fake darn news.
Fake darn news.
I want to talk about it.
Clearly, we've got it together here on this Monday.
Oh my god,
But
that was a chaotic start.
I got downtown this morning and I was like, why the hell is there's nobody here? I was so confused. It was so dead. I was really confused. What up, Clonex? What up, Manojik? Glad to see y'all.
Oh my god.
Happy
Monday.
Howdy to the 10 people who showed up early on a Monday morning despite it being a holiday. Magical. Appreciate y'all. We got some things to chat about today.
We do have some things to chat about today.
All sorts of fun
But first
things.
off, I would like to formally recognize that Austin can, in fact, speak normally now.
Oh my god, look, I can talk again. Isn't that crazy? I could last week. I don't have my my sexy sultry voice anymore. I'm sorry, guys. But
sorry, everybody.
You know, I'm okay with having my normal voice back.
And then I can just bring that in if I really need to, you know? I can just talk like that. Since I got so used to talking like this last week that now I can just do it on command. It's a good time.
Incredible.
But anyway, we're not going to talk like that because it's fucking lame.
We're too hype about Washington's birthday to
Way
talk
too
like that.
hype about Washington's birthday. I haven't been able to be loud in a week. It's terrible. But
I just saw on the replay me absolutely missing my mouth with the water. Spilling it all over my big toe.
But more important than any of Washington's birthday or any motion design things or any of that, we're going to be in the Dominican Republic in like less than 72 hours.
It still hasn't hit me.
I was talking about it. I vlogged a little bit about it this morning, but it's not going to feel like it until we're actually like in the Airbnb with everybody. That's when I think it's going to feel real, is when we actually get to the Airbnb and we see the beach. I think that's going to be it. Up until then, though, fake news.
Put my little piggies in the sand. I'm not really gonna,
My brain's not gonna register what's going on. I mean, this is a big deal. This is the first time that all of us will be together as the Ravie team in person. It's just been me and Noah. Nobody else has met anybody.
Yeah, in person.
That is on the current Ravie team.
None of us know each other at all.
We've
only been typing in an anonymous type chat, just sending files back and forth. It's been nuts.
It's true. So said he's going to be flying in to Raleigh on Wednesday, so we'll get a whole day with him. We're going to go out and do a whole steak dinner. It's going to be a good time. Everybody else on the team is jealous, and then we'll be hanging with. All the Americans are flying down together on one flight, and then Sam and Barbara.
Are we really?
Well, yeah, it's Jackson is going from his place to Atlanta on a separate flight, but then all of us will be on that same Atlanta flight.
Oh, that's so cool. We're all gonna be on the same Atlanta flight. I can't wait to meet Jackson in person.
I know. So
I can't wait to meet everyone in person. It's gonna be so interesting to see how the dynamic completely shifts.
Well, see, that's
and
I feel like Jackson is going to be exactly the same as how he is over voice calls and whatever. He's very much there. I feel like Seti, Sam, and Barbara are gonna be a little wishy-washy on how comfortable they feel at first, but we'll be there. We'll be showing up. Us and Jackson
is our fucking darn heckin' selves.
That's my prediction. That's my guess. And it's basically like Jackson knows this entirely already because he edits hours of footage of us every week. So
that's right. So
you know.
I'm very interested because like our team is for the most part very young.
Yeah.
And so there's also not like that precedent of like, oh, I've worked in a corporate environment before and I know generally how company retreats are, and this is like the sort of face I put on for that extended period of time with my coworkers. None of us have that.
Nope.
So we're kind of just like going on a trip with our friends, but also it's business, and it's not going to be anything like, at least I think it's not going to be anything like most company retreats that have happened. But again,
agree.
I wouldn't know. So,
well, based on the ones that I've been to, I would agree. At least I hope it's not like some of the aspects of those. But I think it'll be good. I think it's going to be a fun time. It's
do you have any hopes? Do you have any desires?
Any hopes
like,
and
first
dreams?
Of all, professionally, what would you like to get out of it? Let's say it's March. We're done with the trip. I don't know dates because
March 3rd. We'll be back.
There it is. It's March 3rd. POV, it's March 3rd.
Yeah.
We just got back. You're maxing and relaxing. You're like, wow, that was a great trip. I'm feeling energized. And I'm so glad that we got done.
Pathway forward. Just
pathway forward.
A plan for the next 3 months, 6 months even. Figuring out like concrete things that we can be like, boom, if this happens, like if we hit these checkpoints, we have succeeded in these different ways, you know? Just little goalposts. Right now we have some, but you know, they're kind of based out of necessity and whatever, and it would just be interesting to see what we can come up with. As just like, I don't know, what do we want it to be like? Like, how do we really get there? Like, really just like you and I sitting down brainstorming for the course, like just kind of throwing everything out there and being like, I don't know, like this could work this way and this way and this way, but like the whole team brainstorming on like delay and like project to project stuff and whatever, like all very present in that moment, I think will be what I can get out of it. I don't really have any like super planned structure or anything to necessarily get that done, but I don't know, we have a week. I'm used to 1 day retreats, you know, and those still felt like there was too much structure. So I'm keeping it pretty lax, honestly.
Yeah, I feel that. You know what would be fantastic? Here's let me pitch this to you. Okay, so sometimes it can feel like when you have a big brainstorm session, especially with like more than 4 people, it feels like there's kind of a lot of wasted brain power in the room. You know what I mean? Like people, it's very easy to zone out. I want to break people up, and I would like to do a little friendly competition. You know what I'm saying? Who can come up with better business plans? Who can generate better ideas for like content? I want to make teams. I want to pit people against each other. I'd like to make a little bit of a spicy little back and forth. And I'm not sure if this is like a full retreat thing where necessarily we stay together like color wars for the whole time.
Oh god.
But because as you all know, I mean, you all as in Austin, there's a lot of toxicity sometimes.
Sure.
Between
and because my team always wins, people. So
right there it is. There it is. Case in point. So, but or we could have it like kind of challenge to challenge type, break people up.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, we could just have like a randomizer or something that just splits it up that way, so that there's no like decision making really on it. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be really, really fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to do like, I kind of want to do some silly team bonding stuff because I think that stuff is hilarious for one, and two, just like, I don't know, man. I'm just excited to see everyone, and I want to have fun ways to interact with everyone. Agreed.
I mean, I think at least one of those times has to be a you and me versus them situation.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna roast them, Austin. We're gonna. You know? Eat our dust, nerds. That's what I'm gonna say.
It'll be really great. I'm excited.
I feel like there's even gonna be times where everyone's like, "Let's go to the beach," and you and I are like, "Let's
go to the beach.
Beach. Let's go plan Business stuff on the beach.
Let's do that. I mean, I feel like because we're just so inundated in that all the time, I feel like that's the case with everybody on the team. It is much more of like a hobby thing, you know? It kind of feels like,
I mean, it comes from a place of passion.
Well,
honestly.
It's like the people at a corporate office who would go and like, I don't know, what's a good example for this? Like have some sports team or something that they're all on outside of work, you know? But that's what it feels like all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Like we're all just kind of hopping.
It was like kind of like a professional sports team where like you do stuff with your sports team because you love
the sport.
You love the sport and you love the people.
Right.
And that's fantastic. We feel like a sports team a little bit.
Yeah. The amount of times
much most of us don't care about sports.
The amount of times that like everybody just sends messages in on weekends or whatever being like, "Oh, we could do this, this, and this." Or like Will is sitting there over the weekend emailing companies and I'm like, "Dude, you're so passionate about this, but nobody's going to answer your emails on the weekend." Love that though. Bring that energy. Like that's really fun. It's just, I don't know. Gives me good vibes. It'll be a fun time. And by the way, for everybody, this is going to be great because we're probably going to have everybody is going to be filming while we're there.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking probably like, I don't even know. It might be like 5 to 6 vlogs just out of that 1 week, you know? Jackson's going to have his hands full. But
I think the past 3 weeks, because like, I don't know about you, but I haven't recorded a whole bunch of stuff.
I haven't either.
Kind of hanging out here. We've been doing our emailing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That I think could be probably condensed into one vlog.
Agreed.
Like here's right before the retreat. And then we're gonna have like just so many vlogs during the retreat. So
catch everybody up to more modern day Ravie.
I'd like to catch everyone up.
What up, my video guy? Ooh, Tuesday. It's Tuesday for them. Time traveling. Hey, you're closer to us going on the retreat than we are. That's not how time works, but sure, it's fair. Clonex says it's 3 p.m. here in Nigeria. Well, it is not 3 p.m. here in not Nigeria. What up, Sebastian? How you doing? Murkesh says, why are you no names broadcasting so well?
No names. Ooh,
broadcasting so well.
Broadcasting
so many questions. So many questions for this.
I honestly am confused at what the base question is here.
I am.
Like, how are we doing this well? No, because we're cool. What do you mean?
We're pretty sweet, pretty vibey. I just tanked the viewership. That's my bad. Just kidding. Yeah. Anyway, enough about Ravie Retreat, I guess. I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow, too, and probably on Wednesday, so we probably don't want to talk everybody's ears off about it, but...
I have so much to say about it, man. I'm so excited.
Save some for tomorrow. Everybody just be aware that that's happening. And we are going to be trying to do the Dominican motion show while we're there from my laptop. It just won't look at all like this, most likely. So be prepared.
I want to run something by you, Austin.
Okay.
I want to bring our mics.
How are we going to do that?
Would be cool with that?
I just don't think I'll have any room for it.
Just the mic and the cord and the little mixer, so that we could still have great audio, even though we look weird.
I mean, hey,
do it on the beach.
If you think you can fit it, by all means. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit it with my stuff.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh no, I need to close my LinkedIn tab. I just got a little de-dingy.
Anyway. Have you packed yet?
No. I'm not packing until Wednesday because I still have some stuff I need to buy, and like it is a small amount of stuff that we're packing. Also, we were bad bosses. We did not get merch for everybody.
No, I looked into it, but
there is no way it would get here in time.
It would not get here in time.
We could try and ship it there, but I have no idea if it would get to the right place or whatever, and I don't know. So we'll just ship it to people after the retreat or something. That'll be like you made it through the retreat. Nice thing to get back home to, I guess. We can get everybody some fun stuff. But yes, we failed. Unfortunate. It's okay.
It's tragic.
I probably wouldn't have had room to bring a bunch of stuff for everybody anyway. I would have had to check a bag.
You make a very good point. Yeah. And then everyone would have more stuff, and then they blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Would have been a mess. Marquette says
you don't travel international.
You write the title of motion design, but it doesn't do anything about it. You guys piss me off. Hey, be sure to smash that like and subscribe in the description below. Take 2 of these. Call me in the morning. Thank you.
Oh my god. I love it. Well, speaking of motion design,
shall we chat about some motion design things now, I guess?
Speaking of being terrible content creators.
Yep.
Yeah, let's chat about some motion design stuff. What kind of motion design stuff would you like to chat about?
Can we chat about how demanding some people are for the content that we give? My goodness. Anyway, okay. All right. What is on the list for today? Well, not first. At some point today, we will be reviewing work from chat as we always do. So check that link in the description. There's a little form to fill out to submit any work that you've done recently, and we will tear it to shreds in a loving way, I promise. And give some good feedback. We'll be doing our Recs of the day at the end of the stream as per usual. And aside from that, no, you want to talk about sorry.
Have you seen? So we have Twitter verification, right?
Yes.
That came out, and I mean, we had Twitter verification. It was like very person by person, and then Elon said, "But what if it was paid?"
Because he said advertisers don't want to pay me anymore. Awkward.
We gotta find another way of monetization. If you guys don't already know, Meta, good old Zuckerberg.
If you don't already know.
Meta is going to also have their own verification. I think it's called like Meta. Anyway, you have to give them your government ID. You don't have to give it to them, but you have to show them your government ID and then get verified. And then it's also on top of that more expensive than Twitter verification. I think it's like 11 to
it's 15, $12 14? Or something. Yeah. Well, actually, no, because it depends on if you're doing it on iOS or if you're doing it on web. Because
really?
They have it as 14 on iOS so that they get past that Apple tax, basically, so that they still end up making the same amount per subscription. Whereas on web, they can just sell it for however much they want.
Scummy. Anyway, so they have that now, and they're launching it, I think, in New Zealand and Australia first, and then it'll spread out to other countries. What do you think about this? I have some opinions on it. What do you think about this? How do you think that this new evolution of like kind of subscription based, and they also say that it will get you more keyword thing here.
Yep.
It'll get you more exposure and it'll push you a little bit more if you pay for it.
Here's how I'm seeing it. Advertisers have been pulling out of social for a hot second. Whether it's because of Apple making privacy restrictions or the EU making privacy restrictions or whatever. And they need to figure out how to be able to supplement that income, you know? So what better way, I'm sure this might have been how it went in one of these meetings or something. What better way to take that essentially subscription revenue from advertisers, you know, paying their $300 a month or whatever per business to push their stuff or more. Why not push that onto the consumer? Hey, everybody wants to be famous on Instagram and on Twitter. So what better perk to add than, oh, now you can pay us every month to have better results on our feed. Oh, okay, interesting. So I think it helps from that way because they're still able to like sell that everybody wants to be famous thing, which, you know, tons of people will buy no matter how many people complain. And on top of that, I think that it's just kind of odd. Like for Twitter, it made sense because Elon is Elon. It's the Wild West over there right now. Like he's going crazy doing his thing. He's trying to just grab money however he can. Did you see? Okay, I'll talk about that in a second after this. But essentially with Instagram, I'm like, dude, you guys are playing on the level of this kind of Lone Ranger. What the hell? Like it feels like everybody's just gonna start doing whack crazy shit. You know, like. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I think it opens up a lot of like nasty, scary doors to doing all sorts of weird stuff on what have otherwise been rather stable platforms to be on. But what blows my mind the most is that all of this, like if on Tinder, is a free feature. Like the whole purpose is to just submit your ID and whatever to get verified so there's less chance of you getting murdered when you go on a date. you know? But like now it's this, I need to have my blue check mark, whatever. But I don't know. I feel like it should just be free. Like from how it's being played, especially from Elon's angle, if we're supposed to be all about freedom and expression and whatever, then like everybody should be able to do that. You know, you shouldn't have to pay to be able to verify that you are your person. And on Twitter, it's not even selling the actual verification. It's purely just selling the badge. It doesn't even mean anything. You know, at least with Instagram, there's the like ID and stuff behind it, which makes it make a little bit more sense. But I don't know. It's basically like now you're just going to start paying for using social like you do with cable or streaming or whatever.
Now, you bring up Tinder, and I think that's a very interesting point. But Tinder also does let you pay for more exposure to more people. It's like more people see your profiles and stuff.
Right, but not for the verification, though. You know?
Right, so what if, like, let's say there was a verification and it was free and you used government ID, whatever, and then in a different like kind of sector, you could also pay for a little bit more exposure. I mean, that's very similar to just advertising.
Right. That's all that is. Except well, actually, I've been surprised the amount of people that like I can hang out with somebody and them not notice that what they're watching is an ad. Like I always am like trained to look for that like sponsored badge or whatever at this point to just be like, I'm not watching this, you know? But to me, like I would think that normal people wouldn't want to use the advertising feature because it might get pushed more, but it's a nuisance, you know? Now you're the negative connotation on people's timelines, you know?
What if it was separate from advertising and it was just like pay for like a creator subscription where we push your stuff a little harder and
I think
get a little bit more exposure.
At that point you're basically just creating like Patreon on crack, where it's like Patreon in reverse, like the creator is paying it, but it's like the reverse model to streaming or cable, where you're paying to be the center of attention rather than people paying to be on your stuff to be the center of attention. It's just flipping the model so that now the content creators are going to be the ones getting screwed over because they're going to have to pay to use these platforms that they already built this audience on. It's shitty to me that they don't ever do any grandfather policies, where if you have a verified badge on Instagram or Twitter beforehand, you have to pay to keep it. You don't just get to have it for having already gotten it. You know, I feel like that should just be a thing. It's like you fought the hard battle of like getting the verification badge in the first place when you had to be like, it's kind of like the mob, you know, you had to know somebody who knows somebody and they hope they like you enough to actually like put you in there. I've seen accounts on Instagram, especially where it makes no sense for them to be verified over some of the people who like the motion community has people that are like 50,000 to 100,000 followers or something. And then there's some random person with like 3,000 followers that's verified. Like nobody knows about this person. Who the hell is this? Doesn't make any sense. And like somebody said in the chat, I am really upset with Twitter at the moment. They're making two-factor authentication over text a paid feature with Twitter Blue.
Whoa, okay.
You have to remove yourself from two-factor authentication or subscribe to Twitter Blue before, what is it, like March 19th or something? Or you lose access to Twitter.
Seriously?
It's not even like they just knock it off for you or anything. You just lose access. It's really shitty.
Why?
That's almost as bad as that policy where they were gonna. I don't even remember what it was. They've done such a good job of like turning it around at this point. But there was where you couldn't link to another social media platform or you'd get banned. It's almost as bad as that, because that is like elementary level, like safety number one on the internet. You know,
I think what's really interesting about what Twitter's up to right now is that, like, it's sort of being treated like a new social media, as in, like, they're just trying out a bunch of different things. They're like, what if we make it exclusive in this way? What if you guys pay for this thing?
Right.
But it's like an already established thing.
You don't
so it's just kind of stirring the pot.
You don't make free features paid features. You don't do that. It's gonna cause so much turmoil. Like everything that we just talked about with that potential flip in that model to where all just like people who want their content to do well, and who built these platforms to what they are, like the reason people even use Instagram is because of the content creators, or same with YouTube and whatever. I do not. Pay to win social media is just going to happen at some point. And it's just there's gonna be no avoiding that, and you're just gonna kind of be screwed if you can't fork up the money for it, especially businesses. You think we were smart for just kind of using our faces and our individual brands? Now it's gonna seem really, really smart when we're not having to pay the business rates to like keep the Ravie account verified or something, you know? Those rates are totally going to be higher and different than, even though they will perform worse, most likely than personal creators, you know?
Because like you can push it as much as you want, but that doesn't mean people are going to care.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like the strongest force on these platforms are not the platforms, but the people on them.
Yep.
And they still wield the most change. They just have to agree with each other, which is a little rare, but it still exists. I will say I had a similar reaction off the bat of being like, what the fuck? Like, that sucks that Meta's doing that. And I thought about it more. And from a business point of view, like a subscription model is one of the most profitable things businesses can do.
Yep.
If it works. And two, like, I see the space, like the advertisers are draining. And so it makes sense to sort of sometimes shift that monetary burden of revenue stream onto the actual people that are more engaged, that are really like using the platform each and every day, rather than the advertisers that are kind of iffy on even being there in the first place.
Right.
Because of everybody wants to be famous, and that seems like an even closer thing now than it ever has before, with the discoverability of TikTok and with Instagram Reels. And it feels a little Wild Westy, but it also feels like that, like from a business standpoint, it's just an extremely smart thing of Meta to do.
Yep.
On the surface, it's like, that fucking sucks. But when you look a little deeper, you're like, okay, actually, I see one, kind of why they did it, and two, like, I feel like that shift is probably inevitable anyway. So I'm not too frustrated about it. And like, I don't pay for any really other services of subscriptions. I have my Spotify, and I don't pay for any like streaming services like Netflix or anything, because those, as everyone knows, are something that you bum off your friends and family.
Facts.
If you ever want to watch stuff. But like, to me, it's like, I guess I don't really mind it a whole bunch. It's kind of neither here nor there for me, and I'm just curious to how it will actually boost discoverability, because like, if it does, that's fantastic. I'm still kind of annoyed at what Reels did about just shooting themselves in the foot.
Like, that's probably why, though. They want everybody feeling like, well, why the hell isn't this working anymore? So that they're like, oh, look, now I have a way to make sure that I'm getting engagement and whatever, you know?
Because like, if what, like $14 a month brings back the discoverability that we had on Reels, like, that's a million times worth it.
That's a no-brainer for like us spending the business money on that, you know?
Great. But so like, if the outcome is helpful and actual profitable, and it just makes itself back, then like, you know, net positive, I don't really mind. But if it is really just like kind of whatever, and it doesn't actually really help anything, and it's just there because they want more revenue, then it's like kind of shitty and scummy.
Yep.
But yet still like kind of the direction that I see a lot of stuff going, and I just think it's a very interesting move for them to make right now. Honestly.
I agree.
I'm just interested to see what happens, as usual.
I would be really curious to see how it develops, more so because of what we've seen in the past when people have started to use things like creator tools on, especially Instagram. You saw, like, we both tested this out. Yeah. Maybe like 9 months ago, where
it's been a while.
A whole baby away. One baby ago, where I had my
time and babies.
Yes.
Okay.
I had my account set to a personal account for a really long time. And then as soon as things started going kind of well with the loops or whatever, I switched it to a professional account so you can start to see the analytics and all that data and stuff. Tanked. Like, the views went down so hard, and I have a theory why. And, you know, it's not just me. Noah did the same thing, and it like immediately just like way lower discoverability and viewership and whatever. And it makes a lot of sense, because if you're Meta or I'm still just gonna say, if you're Facebook, because I still hate that stupid rebrand. If you're Facebook and you want your advertisers spending as much money as possible on this discoverability, does it make sense to just give them all this data that they can look at and just have that rewarded if they're not spending money on you? It makes a whole lot more sense to get people like that cycle. They use a personal account and they get some traction, right? And then they're like, all right, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm a creator now. I'm going to be looking at my metrics and whatever. Would it not make more sense to want people staring at that data and just like constantly obsessing over it and then throwing whatever money they can at it to improve it, like starting to run their stuff as ads so they can start to guarantee like certain amounts of views and impressions and whatever? Mm-hmm. They're not just going to give that shit away for free. I mean, they do, but it's certainly at a cost that you're just not seeing, I
think you bring up a very interesting side of this, which is that like if you introduce this, the subscription where you can get more discoverability if you pay, it might drain a little bit of the passion out of it. And I think that's like what you kind of are pointing to with the creator versus personal account of like the personal account just has more discoverability. Like TikTok has a lot of kind of organic growth. And if you kind of shoot that in the foot, then I think maybe people are less interested in posting in the first place because they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to get discoverability if blah, blah, blah.
It's also...
So like maybe there will be an uptick in discoverability alongside this subscription introduction. That will just happen naturally. Maybe it's for like smaller accounts specifically. I'm not sure, but like I feel like to get people invested enough to want the subscription, either your marketing is going to have to be fantastic, which everybody knows Meta's is not, or you'll have to get people invested. And I think to get people invested, you kind of have to do what TikTok did, which is like showing them like, hey, you can get thousands.
Anybody can do this.
Anybody can. Like you can do it with whatever, like a funny video with your dog or something.
Well, and that's the important bit because, like I'll go back to the Tinder analogy. Mm-hmm. It's not sexy to see someone using Tinder Gold or Tinder Platinum or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Or using a Tinder Boost. In the same way that it will probably be like, is it really going to be cool to be obvious that you're trying to have your posts do well? No. It's probably not. I mean, I guess if everybody is doing that and then it just becomes the new normal, then like people don't really know. Like soon the difference isn't really there. But at least right now, like everybody that I see buying that Twitter Blue subscription, I'm like, I know why you're doing that. You're trying to game this, like you're trying to get something out of it. Also, at the end of the day, like I feel like I'm having this realization with more things recently, especially in the AI conversation. I mostly come back to like it's totally down to like whatever the person inputs into it at this point, though. It is still very much restricted by the imagination of that person. It doesn't matter how much money you throw at this thing. If your content sucks and it's just not interesting and people don't give a shit about it, that's it. You can still get a bunch of views, but that doesn't mean you're going to get likes or comments or continual like community growth or whatever if what you're doing is not going to build that itself. It just feels kind of like a cash grab in that way, to where like it is kind of just dangling the carrot of like, hey, look what you could have, like this was going to solve your problems, but then still it's not helping people who just don't know how to like build an audience or whatever at this point.
I think that the good content exists between a place of like understanding algorithms and like understanding, have your hook and like get people interested and then have like something that kind of keeps their interest the whole time. Understanding of what makes good content.
Like Subway Surfers.
Or
Minecraft parkour.
Right in between there and actually like having a full passion for what you're doing and the actual content you're creating. Like you have to also have fun with it. And I think that some people kind of do one or the other. Usually it's like, I'm making content because the algorithm says that it will like this. But if you don't like put your own little spin on it or come from a place of passion, then people see through that. There's no algorithm that's like docking you because you didn't hit the exact 0.5 seconds of a hook or whatever. But like people will see the inauthenticity and they will see that you're not like really having fun with it.
Yep.
And so I mean, there are of course exceptions to everything, but I think that's where the real discoverability and the real good content comes from.
It's like
that intersection.
It's why, unless you're a child, you can't watch any of those Mr. Beast knockoffs because they are so very clearly doing their formulaic thing, you know?
Yeah. Children's content feels awful and weird and inauthentic because children
it is.
can't really
They don't know.
They don't know yet. They just see the excitement and they can mirror that or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's all a very interesting conversation.
But we'll keep you guys updated on this as the situation evolves. But in the meantime, I am so sorry, Barbara. She has a joke. What do you call a mouse that swears?
A dirty rat.
Rat shit. Ratchet. I don't know. That's.
Ooh.
I feel like that might work okay.
I was kind of close.
That's my guess. What is it?
Oh,
Barbara?
that wasn't the answer?
I don't know. That was my guess. I have no idea. But we have a good question in the chat in the meantime.
Oh, okay.
Katrulon says, friend of mine has his portfolio site written in the third person. Oh, Barbara says a cursor. That's funny. That's much better. That's much better.
That's so good.
Thank you, Barbara. That was a banger.
Cursor.
I'm sorry I made you wait so long for that one. It was a really good one.
I was hoping you guys see. I really like that one.
Thank you. Leah says, what's this playlist you guys have on in the background? Oh, it's just all the songs we use in the... Well, not all of them. It's a lot of the songs we use in the vlogs. And here's a fun little linky for you if you want it. But anyway, somebody in the chat is saying that their friend wrote their portfolio in the third person because they think that that's more professional, as if it was written by an agency that represents him. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I see that every time.
Yeah, I can immediately
tell. Every time
tell.
I see a portfolio, like I know some portfolios that are written in the third person.
Or LinkedIn profiles, and I'm like, you guys are so full of yourselves. What the fuck?
It comes off as really like... what's
either arrogant or insecure, though both of those can kind of go hand in hand sometimes.
Anyway. But I think sometimes, like on rare occasions, it fits the vibe. But just generally, it doesn't really make sense because, like, it's your personal portfolio. Who else would have written
You're an individual. Why are you trying to get people's expectations higher than what they should be? Like, looking back now...
your portfolio to not see you or not hear you talk about yourself. Like, they didn't come to get other people's opinions.
I would be...
They can figure out who you are.
I would steer very clear of that if I were to go back. Like, I did that all the time. I used we, you know? It was always like trying to make it seem like a bigger thing than it was, even if it was just me freelancing. Why are you setting yourself up to have your clients think that they have this like fleet of people or some bigger organization to like fall back on if things go wrong? You're kind of like setting their expectations high on the amount of resources and things you have, and then if you can't match that, that's going to be a problem, you know? Like you're already setting it so you have to exceed like what you're probably able to do on your own. And I don't know. Like Noah said, I can see through it so easily. Like it kind of comes across as insecure. Just because it's like you don't feel like you can just present yourself as you are, and that's like enough value, you know? I think I tweeted something out the other day. Confidence is very expensive. And I really think that rings true, you know? Like if you're able to just show up and like, no one I don't go into calls being like, we're from Ravie. It's, hey, I'm Austin, and I'm Noah, and that's it, you know? People can't connect with this brand that they don't know or whatever. It's just, and that I'm probably getting off topic because now I'm just making assumptions based off of like things we've done in the past or whatever. But especially if it's just you, nobody's writing a news article about you or anything here. It's your own website. It's your place to add personality and show who you are, and that's the part that's going to be unique and get people to stick around instead of just getting a worker bee for a couple weeks to help them finish a project.
Yep.
That's it. I don't know. I just don't think it gives off a good positive vibe.
Agreed. Yo, Austin.
Hey.
Would you like to review some motion design?
Let's review some motion design, I think. Let's do that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That sounds like a good time. Perhaps we'll review 3 pieces of work today.
How much time do we have?
Yeah, well, I mean,
we'll see if we
not
can
a whole lot, but also, it is Monday. I'm kind of annoyed that it's a holiday because that means that our emails are not going to be read, but that's fine.
It's okay.
Alright, here we go. 3 things here. Nope, those are the ones we looked at last time. Just kidding. I will cross those out.
Beautiful.
Here we go. I think that's the same one we already looked at. Yep, okay, they just submitted it twice. 1 second, sorry. Oh my god, is this the same? Oh my god, people submitted like 80 billion times with the same stuff. Come on. Alright, here we go. Let's review some of your work, shall we? I'll go ahead and just bring the music on down. Real tiny like. Noah, are you prepared?
I'm so prepared. I'm on the edge
Chat,
of my seat.
are you prepared for this
Prepared?
pay hip animation by Tomas Akira? Oh, it's just already going. My bad. Please don't be copyrighted. Actually, no sound.
Great.
Pay hip is a like Gumroad type platform.
It's very smooth.
I loved the hang time on that. That was fun. I'm not feeling the depth of this shape here. Like you've really established, like look at all this parallax going on here, and then this just feels like it's kind of just sitting on a flat plane a little bit.
I don't absolutely love the flicker.
I think part of it for me is just because
there it's on a light background and then it kind of gets darker.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense that it would get darker. I think if anything, it would just need to get like more. It would just need to get light.
I would maybe like flicker the glow instead.
That makes sense.
On him. And it just kind of fades off.
I love that toss up. That's I think one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. But I'm not a huge fan of being able to like
just stop.
See the edge. I know that that's how the logo is, but I kind of wish that the animation just started here and was extended a little bit. Like,
or like just extend the shape and then it shortens. Like
yeah, because it just feels awkward screen. Being able to see frames like this.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
And then there should be some overshoot on this, not just on this guy. Like it should go back a little bit.
Maybe some overshoot on when the cube falls down after that hang time that we like. It just kind of stops pretty suddenly, or at least there's not a lot of overshoot.
Let's take a gander at that, shall we? It would be cool if this like rotated a teeny tiny bit. Some instability could help sell that like it's actually moving through space, you know? Or if it just had some side to side movement, I guess. Yeah, it really does kind of just stop there. It does need some overshoot, you're right. I love these little shines on these guys, though.
I do really like this.
They're really fun.
They're very pretty.
They're very pretty.
They're a lot of depth.
Which is why this stands out more. Just because it, you know, you've established such like a more realistic feeling world here. That transition, I'm assuming, was rather difficult.
It's very cool.
I can't believe that you actually kept the shape in the front the entire time. That's crazy. But props for figuring that out, because I couldn't tell you. John Valgraff says, what is the most important thing you look for in reviewing a showreel or motion in general? Love the lives.
Pacing and attention to the actual motion itself.
And with the attention and motion itself, most of that for me is within like, can they establish the physics of that world and then maintain the rules that they've set up for themselves? Like a baseline of it feeling like it would, you know, if it's reacting to gravity, like it feels similar to how it would actually react in the real world. But also if they do like exaggerations on those physics, then like making sure that those are consistent throughout.
Yeah.
other than that, just like pacing, is it fun to watch? Or if it's serious, like, does it grab me emotionally? And a thing that's very, very important for both of us is just, do the colors suck or not?
I agree. I think this person very clearly understands motion and is a good motion designer. It just is some polishing up that needs to be done.
Agreed.
Or could be done, I guess. And I will say the background at the end doesn't really fit the vibe. It kind of feels like
it's kind of giving me Teletubbies vibes. I'll be honest, especially this guy down here.
I don't really like that guy. It feels like, what's it feels like? It feels like watercolor paper.
Yeah, kind of.
After you like spill watercolor all over it and it kind of like wrinkles up and dries. That's what it looks like.
Oh, what up? Tomas is in the chat. He says, does the first part feel out of place? I love the styling and stuff on these stars. It's this guy that feels out of place because the blurring that's going on doesn't make sense. Like, you've got these objects that are behind it that are in focus, but then these that are way off behind it that are out of focus, and then this guy like has some things going over in front of him that aren't like, I can't tell where this thing actually is in the plane, like where it is on the z-axis.
That stuff just feels like very flat
compared to everything else. Yeah, it's just, you've established this world of shading and depth, and to add a flat shape is just a little, it doesn't quite fit.
Flickers in color and not even like with its glow.
Right.
And then this is a very cool transition, and then I think the second bit kind of feels
this bit doesn't.
I'm
really
confused. Yeah. Also, like in the logo, the square is rotated 45 degrees. It is a little diamond guy.
No, but it's like 47 degrees.
Oh, is it not
it's
exactly?
Not even
I
45.
see that. Oh, that's uncomfortable.
I know.
Good point.
I don't know if that's just how it is in the actual logo, though.
Yeah, that would be awkward. But anyway, it is rotated, and also at the beginning, it starts square. It starts straight on, and then it doesn't rotate until it's like in its little tunnel thing. You can start it and like give it a little bit of rotation as it moves down and up. And I think that'll bring a little bit more life into it as well. Or maybe even like, fuck it, make it 3D if you shade it properly.
Agreed. Thank you, Tomas.
Roasted.
I hope that was helpful. Boom roasted.
Boom roasted.
All right. Oh boy. I know this man has been waiting for this for like 3 streams now. It's time to review Atharva's portfolio. Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Wait, hold on. Do you want to talk about just like the grid that we're looking at right here?
Yes.
Real quick first.
I need some sort of... You're really hoping that I hover over one of these to get the title or something, But if that's not there, it would probably be good to have some sort of type like up here or something that it doesn't even have to say like 3D vintage scene animation, but it could have some sort of like tagline or something so that I at least know what I'm clicking into, Because if I'm right here, I have no idea what's motion. I don't know what's just static stuff. I don't know.
I think the ones that do the best here are that top left one and that bottom left one. You can see some type, you can see the product.
Agreed.
It's interesting. They're not, I think, as strong as they could be, of course, but I think they're doing the best. And if you would, you just middle mouse click on Behance so we can just real quick direct comparison to just some stuff featured on the homepage.
Oh, I see. Yes. Look. I mean,
there's a lot of
even this thing, which I wouldn't click on, I did get my eyes drawn to it because of some type, You
could do like just featured motion design or something.
It's also got a memorable, like, it's good to just have some sort of title because I know the amount of times that Noah just references something by whatever the title they put on the Behance project is more often than not, I think, the case. And otherwise you just wouldn't know what to call it. Like, I'm not going to remember 3D drink commercial made in Blender because there's probably a million of those on Behance,
Yeah, maybe like 3D renders might be as well. But like these compositions are either very intriguing and kind of complex, or they have like a strong title.
Or just colorful. You know,
Or they're
look
just
at all
colorful.
the color going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I
Lots
have
of centered stuff. Lots of symmetry.
a bone to pick with one of these thumbnails in particular.
It's the
Why?
water bottle one.
Why?
Why is it off-centered?
Why are all of the logos in this promo off center? The logo is the thing that Nike would want people to remember in this context. Nobody cares about what the actual bottle looks like that much. It's people would buy this. People probably wouldn't buy it if it had like the Amazon logo or something on it, you know, because that screams cheap. But because it's got Nike on it, then it's this brand name thing that people can buy. It's like, what were those Hydro Flasks? People paying $50 for a fucking water bottle. What the hell? But it's just because it's called a Hydro Flask.
It's Hydro Flask.
If
you look up their Behance projects, I don't actually know if they have Behance projects.
I don't either. But I don't know. That like really throws me off. It just doesn't feel intentional. But I don't know. It would just be better if these were all centered. But let's take a look at this one in particular first, I guess. Oh, okay. Cool.
Wait, hold on. I didn't see it. Can you play it
No,
again?
this is it. Look at the top of the screen.
Oh, okay.
You might want to check on
Cool.
your Behance projects to make sure that the video is actually uploaded properly. Got the same thing going on with this one.
Mm.
Very linear, my friend.
It's also not centered.
Well, that could also just be because the aspect, like just generally on a Behance project, this is way too much for me to have to scroll down in view to even be able to like see what it is, you know?
Well, okay, actually, it's because the bevel some of those edges. No, I'm not even talking about that animation. I'm talking about the other one.
I was just saying that regardless.
Oh, I see. The edges are not circular. You know what I mean? Like it's not a perfect cylinder. It's not round. But if you go to the other rotation, you can see it kind of warbling back and forth. I'm not sure. I'm looking at the top. Okay, yeah, it's pretty centered.
I would recommend bringing this thing up a little bit. It feels very, very like bottom heavy at the moment. Which like it might be actually like perfectly. Actually, I don't even know if it is. It might just be too far down.
Visually center it.
I'd recommend moving it up to like here or something.
Okay.
But Nike definitely wouldn't approve of that sort of like warping of their swoosh. But you know, it's a personal project. I get it. Let's look at the most recent one. All right. There's some really good shots here, I think. Also, you probably could have had it be 10 seconds or something.
It did feel like it went on for a little long.
Which is ironic that it's only 15.
Also, I see some of the shots like kind of just repeated.
That's more of what I was getting at. Like, I feel like this shot we've seen 4 or 5 times in this video, but you got some cool ones. Like this one feels great. Easing on that one felt really nice, but then you get to this one where it's just like everything's kind of speeding by in kind of a really like on conveyor belt sort of way. The movement's not very consistent. It doesn't feel super timed to the music. There's just not like a whole lot for me to
super interesting
catch on to, you know?
Not a lot of interest that is
after these first like
here.
5 seconds.
Like we're floating,
right after that
we're
point,
in a floating world. This one especially, that isometric one, like none of them look like they're on a platform. None of them have a shadow. It just feels very strange.
If you had just done these first 5 seconds, and I'll give another piece of feedback in a second, and then right at the end of this one, shot of the logo, that would be totally fine as an ad. I think it gets after that point. I think you're just showing the same thing over and over again, you know? Okay. Now, let's live in that world of if this is just 5 seconds for a moment, right?
Okay.
even with the music.
It's not timed.
It's not timed, but also why it's that same, like, the easing just kind of takes me out of it. It's like I can't quite like groove to it,
like,
I guess.
Usually rest,
I don't know. It's
either the music is like being like dun dun, or the easing is like it's time to speed up now, and they're not aligned, and everything just kind of feels like it doesn't let you like take a breath in a not exciting way.
But I realize, because like we often say that we like motion that like doesn't let you rest, but what we mean in this is that it's more like I can never get settled into a rhythm. There's no
settled.
I'm not being pulled along on rails here. I have my own car and I have no idea where the hell I'm going, and so I just keep like I hit the gas and then I hit the brake really abruptly and then I do that again, you know? And that's what the motion feels like. You get like smooth shot, and then for whatever reason, I get that it's supposed to be like slow-mo, but it feels like, oh cool, I'm getting this smooth shot, and then it's just like it hits a wall. And it just like slows down, and then you get another shot where it's like, okay, cool, nice easing, and then it's like hits a wall, slows down, and you just have that repeated like 5 times. There's never any like, I just can't get into it, you know? It's the movement is just not consistent, and then that on top of it not matching the music is just hard.
Yeah,
to watch.
That's if it matched the music, it would add so much to it. I think that kind of no rest that we're talking about feels like you're constantly being pulled along, like you're on a water slide in a way. Whereas if it like doesn't match up, and like this example kind of feels like someone like you're in the middle of a kind of a mosh pit. People are just pushing you all around in any direction, and you don't really feel like you can get your footing at any time.
And
that'd be the metaphor I would use.
Just from like a concepting standpoint, now I understand from a skill set level, like you probably aren't doing fluid sims and that sort of stuff yet, but you're selling a drink here and you're just showing the packaging the whole time. It doesn't quite make a whole lot of sense. You want people to feel thirsty. They're not gonna feel that just staring at a bottle, you know? And if they were, you'd have to have like some condensation on the outside or something to make it like look delicious, you know? Like you want to grab that, you know? But
conceptually, you're just showing a bottle the whole time,
and too much of it. We get the point after. It would be one thing, like we could continue after these 5 seconds if we then get shots of like some like from this scene, you get some of the liquid gets like poured down into there, and we like follow the camera into the liquid, and then we're seeing like some like strawberry watermelon or something. You see like strawberries and chunks of watermelon like floating around in the liquid or something. Like there's all sorts of shots and stuff you could do.
Like reverse the one with the cap and have liquid like go out of the bottle.
You don't
have it like be a backdrop in that shot or something.
You don't want to have the feeling after just 5 seconds be like, okay, I get the point. Can we move on, please? You know? Hopefully all of that was helpful. We'll get through one more, and then Rex of the day should be pretty short because I only have one. You have like 2, right?
I have just a studio.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're gonna watch some of the things that got us into them, and then we're gonna watch their new thing that neither of us have seen yet.
Oh, Yambo.
So we get hey, no spoilers.
I mean, what? Just kidding. The Daily Motion Show says, Austin just put Cinema 4D in the taskbar. No 3D for me, thank you. I'll pass. Anyway, we have a reel to review.
I think he means look it up on Behance to see examples. I don't know. I'm not sure though.
I think he might mean like to show what I mean with the 3D stuff. I don't know. Either way.
We'll see cool 3D in a sec.
Same answer to any of those.
Ooh. Almost timed right at the end there.
Oh, that's cool looking.
This is frustrating.
That was a well-timed reel, though, I think. Personally.
Yeah, this is frustrating to me because like there's a fair bit of the work and the beginning and end that have like pretty darn good easing in their time to music, and it's like it's cool. But then there are also works that just are not like well eased, and it's throwing me for a loop.
Yeah, like the motion blur at the beginning of this guy. And just kind of sits there. But then this thing's cool.
This is a really cool shot.
I like that. That was really fun.
And I was like, that's very cool.
Like,
yeah.
Fun time.
I mean, I don't love that, but
this is cool.
Whatever. That's cool. That's all right.
That's got good easing on it.
This is interesting. And then that easing is annoying. That easing, not my favorite.
Not my favorite on that one either.
That's neither here nor there.
But hey, in terms of like the reels we have reviewed on the show so far, this is like good timing, good length. Even though like I didn't agree with some of the design choices and things and some of the work that was there. Oh boy, now we're seeing a whole video. Even though I didn't agree with some of the design choices and things, it still kept me engaged and I was moving along, and it wasn't belaboring over the like same piece of work over and over again. It felt like we actually got something different in terms of skill set every single time we got a different shot. And there would be like some shots where I was like, I don't know if I quite agree with that. But then there was another one where was like, oh, okay, there's some good like motion there that actually feels pretty good. Like there's a good amount of things to chew on there, you know?
Yeah.
I think that was a good reel, honestly.
Solid.
That's solid. Yeah, I really don't have that much feedback to give on it, truly. I'll just watch it one more time. This feels kind of easing on this is a little weird.
Maybe a little snappier and like more on beat, like on the main beats, like doon doon doon.
And I don't
then we cut.
Nitpicky graphic design choice, but I don't think you need this much space in between these things.
I don't think you need that much lighting. I don't think you need that much tracking on demo reel either.
But it's a good reel. I guess if you're gonna have this shot, I like that it's in context of showing that it's on the building, but it would be cool to have like stock footage that you're using here instead, if that's possible, just because
at least do a very small
it's
zoom
like,
and maybe mask out the little bun at the bottom,
because it was real obvious that this was just an image, you know, like it did kind of distract me a little bit from the actual moving thing. And then I thought this was kind of clever. It looked fine up until the point where this sprays and then you can see the edge, you know. If there's some way to get that crossover, I think that'd be good. I don't know. Honestly, that's kind of it for me. Thank you. Ivy Sue? Is that Sue or Zoo? Sorry, you're going to have to tell me how to pronounce that. Thank you for submitting. I hope that was helpful. Nice reel. Very nice. All right. Is it time for Recce Rex? Should I go with mine first since you're going to go through a whole studio?
Yeah, you need to do yours first, and I need to get some water. 1 second.
All right.
But you go do your rec.
Oh, I'm going to do my rec. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Guys, this is some of the most satisfying cuts and transitions between things I've ever seen. And it just came out of nowhere on my timeline. All frame by frame. And I guess it has to be for it to look this good in between, but just like, come on. Look at those. It's so chewy and delicious. Like, look at how well those transition between each other. Come on.
Dude, this is so epic.
I know. The animation isn't even like amazing or super novel or whatever, but like it's pure magic, you know? I don't know what else to say other than that. And then when you look at like the other details of like the actual like crystal ball or whatever rotating around, like it looks great, you know?
Yeah.
It just
like the hands turn into each other in big swooping motions. The eyes generally turn into each other. It's awesome. It's great.
It just feels so good, you know? And it's frame by frame.
Fantastic.
It's frame by frame. Like, come on. Wow.
It's nuts. You know, I will say Monster March, I feel like he should have maybe waited until March to post it, but that's just me.
Or just, you know, Halloween, but that's fine. But yeah, definitely
This is great.
Check that out. I love that piece. I think it's great. And then I'll watch your little screen share.
Hold on. Okay. I'm on their Behance right now.
Boom.
But I'm gonna actually Yambo Studio. I'm gonna just go to their website because their website is also very cool.
It is.
If it loads, which it doesn't. Okay, wait. Here we are.
That's what they get for adding on a billion different things.
Whee! It's so much fun. I love it. Okay. So this is one of the first videos that I ever saw from them, and then I'll find that like countdown thingy bob. But they have such a vibe, and they do a lot of stuff for like Chinese phone companies, and they make them feel so interesting. I just absolutely love some of their work. So check it out.
Agreed. Oh, are you not showing sound?
I think I am.
I'm not getting it.
Oh, that's a problem.
Oh, the stream. Okay.
Oh, you weren't on the...
No, I was on it. Oh, no. Uh-oh, y'all. Discord broke. That's not good. Well, Noah's having a time over there. Not that you can hear him. But, that's fine. Look, I'm gonna leave the Discord call, and he's gonna be like, what happened? Oh, he didn't even notice. He didn't even hear me. Oh no, he's gonna start talking. Guys, we love Yambo. It's really great. We love their stuff. It looks so pretty. They do a really good job of making sure that they've got like their fabrics looking proper and all that sort of stuff. And my Discord's just straight up broken. So I think that's just gonna be that, I guess. At Noah, Discord is
text me a message.
Oh, I'm there now. Great. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, here I am.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
What happened there?
I don't know what happened. Discord just stopped working completely.
Well, that's strange.
So I was just telling everyone that we really love Yambo, and it's great, and that they pay a special attention to their fabrics and making sure they look accurate and such, and it would be great.
And can I just big props to this shot right here where they like reach for the phone and then they just like, that's such a strong visual metaphor, and I think that's darn beautiful if I do say so myself.
I would have to agree with you on that.
I also want to shout out. What?
That's it, right? Yeah.
This one, yeah. I want to shout out this video too. That was my favorite. We're just gonna watch some Yambo for a little bit. This is the one that I think Austin found first.
Probably. I was a little Vimeo king.
Yeah, here you go.
Still no sound. Nope, hold on. I gotta get to this and hope it doesn't crash it again. Okay, try playing sound. Yep, we got it.
All right, beautiful.
Yum. Yum, yum, yum.
And then I don't love the two one.
Yeah.
But like
the rest of it though, play it again.
This is a fantastic example of speed as fuck, y'all. Like these match cuts, like yummy.
It's delicious.
Yummy.
I don't even remember how old this is at this point, but it still feels like something somebody could come out with now and it would still rock the house, you know?
I have no idea. How do I even... Maybe at the bottom it says it? 2019. This is
almost 4 years ago.
4 years ago? Yeah.
Well, actually, it probably is like 4 years ago. Didn't it say February on it?
I think so.
Yep. 4 years ago.
This one's also so good. But I wanna show this one and then we'll watch the new one. This will be a live reaction to their new work.
Okay.
This one I just absolutely love. There's so much variety in it. And it's just got some of my favorite shots by them. Check it out. Like, they make this really cool ass world and then they don't even need to sit in it. They're like, all right, next, we're moving on. It's nuts. I love it. I really like the overlays as well.
Like, what the? Oh my god.
Come on, man. Like, that's so cool. Like, for the different colors, they make these entire worlds, and it's just, they really bring you in, you know what I mean?
Jeez.
This is something that I don't think we've seen yet. So.
Safe pal.
Check it, check it, check it.
They said moss.
Kind of Dr. Seussy a little.
Yeah.
So atmospheric, man.
Okay, we're getting a little Microsofty here.
Little Microsofty.
Very Microsofty.
That's a really beautiful cursor. I like it a lot.
Oh man, this is just a Microsoft video. Damn it.
Some really neat textures and stuff. Yay, pretty landscape.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting so tired of Microsoft-esque ads at this point. Everybody and their mom is doing one of those. It makes me feel like even the glowy gradient shit is unique at this point with how many people are ripping this off. Mm-hmm. Like, don't get me wrong. It's very, very technically, like, interesting and, like, takes a lot of work and looks very high quality and whatever. But, like, at the same time, that Microsoft world, like, how it's built out and that type of shading and whatever, and not seeing a single, like, living thing in it makes it feel so hollow and lifeless, I think.
It kind of does, and I think it makes it like a weird contrast with the like this is so interesting and lush at the beginning. We have like grass and plants.
Like,
and,
that feels like a place someone could live, but
I think Yambo's very good at blending that like kind of brutalist structures with interesting kind of organic shapes and making that all work really interestingly together. We have that in these first shots, and it's like, oh, interesting. And then it moves into like, all right, geometric shapes, everything's glass and beveled, and you know, paper is big and solid now.
Like,
it's very Microsofty.
People keep asking what I think is kind of a silly question. Like, do you think 2D or 3D is going to be better in the future? And I'm like, okay, kind of a weird question because they both do different things. But I almost feel like 3D is kind of getting roasted a little bit these past few months because, like, don't get me wrong, there are some very abstract things in this video, but it almost feels like because it is so, like, realistically shaded and whatever, they kind of have to play in the real world, and it starts to become, like, much less, like, I don't know, it feels more expectable, I guess. Like,
predictable?
Yeah, that's what I meant. To where it just doesn't really... Like, when you're working with that same sort of shading on every single project, it doesn't really feel like it's all for different companies anymore. You know, where, like, it feels like at least with 2D, like, people have to be doing some different feeling styles every time, you know? But it feels like the most that happens on these sorts of videos at this point is just like, what's the main set of colors we're going to use? And then otherwise, it's basically all the same thing.
Yeah, and I will say small little, just I'll toss a little praise to Ordinary Folk because they do their Webflow thing, and I think that inspired a lot of this kind of 3D stuff as well.
True.
That and the Microsoft, but then they like have other projects
like Minima and, you know.
Minima one specifically, that they're just like, all right, now we're gonna still be great at all the stuff, but we're gonna just give it a completely different feeling, and that kind of feels proper because it's like a different company, it's a different space, like,
right?
Make it feel different. And I think that this one feels a little samey.
A lot of the 3D studios are kind of just doing the exact same thing at this point.
But I will say, like, it's still very beautiful, and maybe the client really just wanted this, and so I don't really necessarily
Probably
dock
is.
Yambo because they did a fantastic job on
And
this
I'm sure
video
they got
anyway.
paid a shit ton of money for it. So
I'm sure they are doing
get
well
that
because of
bag.
it.
I'm jealous.
But it is what it is.
Yep.
I miss some of their more snappy stuff. They just know how to do some crazy textures and make stuff look so like real. But it's good. It's good stuff. Check them out. They do great stuff.
Agreed. And on that note, that's it. Get the heck out of here. Get the heck out of here, everybody. That's it for Monday's Daily Motion Show. We will see all of you tomorrow talking about all sorts of things and hopefully making that one guy even more mad that we'll talk about some things non-motion related.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway, use hashtag Daily Motion Show in your posts, and we just might have them as our recs. And be sure to fill out the form in the description. Submit your work. We'll critique it. It'll be fun. And we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
Goodbye.